up, everyone? It is the Mister. How y'all doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. As you can see, we are kind of doing a little bit of finishing up in the Puma plow server for Fenton Forest. Looks like we got maybe a couple weeks left, and then we are officially done with the map. Like, done, guys. Moving on to, I believe it was Kiwi Forest. But that will be starting here in a couple weeks, so that is then, and this is now. So definitely, guys, those of you that are wanting to come in and hang out, help with the preparing the fields, you are more than welcome to come in. Just as long as you guys know the information, have all the mods. Only thing is, you have to be 14 years of age or older with the working life, and be in TeamSpeak, so that you can kind of hear all the everything that's going on in real time. So other than that, just a couple real quick announcements. Those of you who know, I kind of have some things going on with work. It looks like I'm kind of going to be stepping up and eventually taking over the supervisor position for my entire shop. So there is going to be some schedule changes. Not as far as days. I'm hoping to keep the days the same, but I will be possibly changing the start times. So for the next couple weeks, please be patient with me while I kind of get everything kind of straightened out. There is going to be kind of working more hours, at least initially, and then it will change, and hopefully it'll kind of within, I'm hoping within the next 3 weeks or so, it'll kind of my schedule will turn into like a Monday through Friday. So then Thursday streams will start a little bit later, but I'll be able to stream for longer on the regular day, so on Sundays and Tuesdays. So that is pretty much it. Other than that, let's jump into TeamSpeak and see how everyone's doing. And Bloody, and I believe that's IPC Medic. Welcome in, guys. I do appreciate y'all being here.
Sound resumed.
So in TeamSpeak we have a Heather. What is it going
Hello?
on? Hello.
Hello?
We have a Frank. What's up, Frank?
Hello, hello.
And we have a Twitch guy. What is going on, Twitch guy?
Not much.
Not much.
You first started for a second there. I thought your closed caption wasn't working.
No, I forgot to turn it on. It's been a whole thing. I kind of went to go get in the map, realized it didn't have the mod, like there. I guess there was a couple mods added on Friday. Didn't have those mods. I mean, top of that,
It was a whole
starting
thing.
late. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's kind of becoming a typical thing, but man,
Yeah.
it's just this. It's the starting later, and having to try and get like honestly, I'm probably starting a little bit earlier than I should. Like I really should be starting at like 8:30 to kind of get everything done correctly. But like if I start at 8:30, you know, it's only like I can only go until 10, so it just doesn't seem like enough time. So
Yeah.
most of the time I'm here right
User
at
joined
8,
your
and
channel.
I can normally do it, but the last couple weeks it's been a little challenging. So
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting week this week, that's all I gotta say.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I got my couple family members in the house that are out of town, so.
So that means party time, right?
No, I mean, I gotta get up and get to work earlier so that way I can take care of
User
stuff.
joined your channel.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Right before you resumed, I got a phone call from my granddad making sure I got a ditch set for tomorrow for him to start the pump on.
Did you
Don't
tell
have-
him? Did you just tell him I got this?
Well, he went and looked this afternoon and said, I just want to make sure that it was you that did it, right? I go, yeah. I goes, alright, we're good to go then.
Yellow.
But he's
Hey, Carson.
trying to focus on his own stuff, and I only have one battery, whereas he has 3 batteries. So I can start the one in front of the house, and he can start his up, and then we can get the sprayer going, because we need to spray some hay ground tomorrow.
Oh, I gotcha.
We gotta put some nitrogen down and some insecticide. So,
Yeah.
because we have a worm issue in that field, so we need to take care of that.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting on them to start that in our fields because it's always very interesting to see. I think last year was the first year they started putting that nitrogen by pulling it around in the tanks, but
no, we have our John Deere 67 spray that we're using. So I won't get any footage of that because he doesn't want to be put on camera. So
oh, I gotcha.
if he's around, the camera's put away and we're focusing on our job. So if not around, I can pull the camera out and do stuff. So he's not around very often, so I can get away with it a lot of times.
I would stay, but I've got school again.
Oh, I gotcha.
I gotta go. I just stopped in to say hi.
Hello.
What is up? Resman, thank you very much for those bits, guys. It is appreciated. And one quick note that I actually forgot to mention at the top of the stream. I did kind of get was getting my stuff uploaded to YouTube. Right now, I actually have one that is still in the middle of processing, so just kind of let me know if the stream is like real laggy. Just kind of let me know when I will actually stop that. I was just trying to avoid it because it's already in the processing stage. So it says it's got about an hour left, but obviously if the stream is suffering, I'll just have to restart it.
I saw my video from Thursday to render and upload, so
yeah, well, I think as long as it's already been like uploaded, that it doesn't really do too much to my upload speed. So the fact that it's in processing is just the site basically finalizing it. So
that's good on my end. So
okay. Yeah,
Alright, I'm gonna go.
Mine
Later.
Later, Carson.
Later, Carson.
Later, Carson. Yeah, I've been watching it like
user disconnected from your channel.
Watching it from like the dashboard, it likes to freeze up. So I'm just wanting to make sure that that's not actually what's happening. But I mean, everything else seems to be going good. I'm not dropping any frames, so it should be good.
I'm gonna bunk with you, buddy. We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna be pals. Here's you. Here's Matt. There's you. There.
And thank you very much for that follow as well, guys. Welcome on in. I do hope you enjoy your stay. Oh, so all the liming in the world, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun liming.
Oh,
you're gonna do the whole thing, and you have 6 and 4 2. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them that look like they're actually real quick, but yeah, there's a fair amount of them that need to be done. Like, I don't know what that is. I guess that's just what they expanded off of 11.
They pot out, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with these little ones and then probably work up to 13, 14, 6, 4. Just see what we get to. If it does get too tedious, we can always kind of switch it around so you guys can see something different, but
yeah,
we do have some work to do.
Yeah. And I know you know this already, Mister. I'm going to remind you, do the whole field, don't do where they just plot out, the way it's all on the same schedule.
Well, yeah, I gotcha. Just trying to figure out where the best spot is, honestly.
Take it and go.
I know, but man, this field is just enormous.
Yes, that's the mega field from you guys that you guys had in Felsburn. So
yeah, well, with the exception of 10, like 10 wasn't in there as far as I'm aware.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yes. It was separate fields. So
let's see.
There was a shed in there that Stevie got rid of. So.
Oh, is that what it was?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know, at least on the other side of it, that's where that little hunting shack was, so...
Yeah.
Notice that's not in here, which, I kind of like the way that we had it set up. We did leave it in there, and we just had all field all around it. Thought it looked pretty cool.
Hey, if that was in good cover crop in the fall, that would have made a good field or a good hunting spot, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I liked it, because it looked like it was almost like someone's private property that they were just using the cornfield as like a bait ground.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's like illegal, isn't it?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
You can put a hunting stand over a cornfield.
You can do it on a field, you just can't like bait
Do it on
an
a corn.
area, right?
The only thing you can't do is hunt within sight distance of a salt block or a feeding stand.
Feeding stand, that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yep.
I thought there was something with the cornfields and stuff too, because I mean there's kind of a gray area there.
Yes, unless you're doing feral hog hunting, then that's no holds barred, basically.
Feral hogs. Here,
That's at least how it is in Texas.
yeah, feral hogs here. You can't be within 75 yards of the feed barrel
Okay.
unless you're trapping.
Yeah.
If you're trapping, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're stalking or active hunting, it does.
Yeah. No, the stuff, unless you're hunting with dogs and a knife, then it's a different situation from what I've heard.
Yeah, you can't hunt them at night here.
Yeah.
Ain't what they call spotlight hunted. No.
Oh
No.
yeah, I pretty much figured that was pretty much everywhere. That was kind of a no-no.
Except in Texas. Texas doesn't care.
Texas
Oh, yeah.
allows spotlight hunting with a permit, I do believe.
Yes,
Well,
if it's permit.
Isn't like Texas
Same
is got
thing.
overrun by a lot of stuff too, aren't they?
Yes.
Like they're trying to do it just to get rid of them, or at
Uh-huh.
least thin the herd.
They're
Mhm.
not quite a bit, yes.
See, here we have a problem with them. There is open season year round, and but you cannot transport live wild hogs. You must kill them.
Right. I mean that makes sense because they're trying to keep them from like overpopulating other areas as well.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
And then there's like a thing with the different variety and everything too. Like there's some varieties that will basically run out the other ones. I don't know if that's this thing with like hogs and stuff, but I know it is with like different like turkeys and stuff. It's a whole thing. I just naturally kind of assumed that was the same pretty much with any hunting game.
It just
Mister,
depends on the state.
do you want to address that or not?
I mean, I can. Guys, it's on this field with some of the tractors, just like the turning is real touchy. I am still getting used to the wheel, so like right now I'm just like barely turning it, and you can see how it's like going back and forth. It's a learning curve, guys.
Yeah, and the fact is it's not shown very much on stream, but you're actually running a pretty good angle downhill right now.
Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
that is kind of a thing. It's
Well,
that,
the way
and
that-
I have a thing where I don't like to like this one. I'll probably end up having to now, but I don't like going to the end of the field and then turning it off and then going back up. I try to just follow the contour of the field, but this one's got some pretty like drastic angles on it, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got some gnarly corners.
yeah. So unfortunately, I probably will have to just go back and forth, at least on this section. Once I get into that bigger area, I probably won't have too much of an issue.
Canadian Bacon, he would love an extra hand.
I mean, yeah.
Probably more like 5. I know Twitch guy.
I
you're such a
literally, I think
squirrel.
there's all of what, like 3 people, or wow, people. Yeah, people are field guys. It's a thing. No, I think there's all of the fields except for like 3 basically need to be completely relined.
I couldn't help myself.
So yeah, definitely if you guys have the mods, you're more than welcome.
User
to come
joined
in.
your channel.
I'll give Canadian Bacon Tech Power in just a second because he'll be helping you. So
Nah, that works. Zach, it's not really even the setup. It's this area because I normally don't have too many issues with it.
Oh, it's just this part of that part of the field and how they plotted out is just weird.
Yeah.
So
That and half of it, if I'm glancing back and forth from TeamSpeak or looking at chat, like I'm not paying 100% attention to where I'm driving, so that's part of it as well.
yeah. I was offered this year to go hog hunting with my cousin, and I didn't take it, so for work. Due to the fact that we're irrigating whenever they're heading out, so
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Wouldn't mind going one year though, so
I've never really gotten into the hunting. Like when I was kind of approaching that age of, hey, go out there and go
Yeah.
hunting. I was living with my stepdad and mom at the time, and there was always a farm that they had, or not even a farm. There was a guy that we knew that had a bunch of land, and they had like some real big falling out to the point where like they stopped speaking. Like I know just glimpses of it, but it's not like a stream topic.
okay.
But ever since that, like he pretty much stopped hunting after that. Like he sold his guns and everything. Like it was major.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
No, I don't hunt for sport. I hunt for meat in the freezer. So
Yeah. So after that, I pretty much like I never knew anyone that went. So I I guess it passed me by at that age. And then living in Missouri, I kind of knew a bunch of people that went, but it almost feels like it's too late at my age to pick up something like that and start doing it.
yeah. But it's something you gotta learn young, and I can do it, and either hunt for meat in the freezer or to eradicate issues in our fields, which I have a permit for private land for such issues.
Right.
Mister, what wheel do you have? I
Uh,
forget what it is.
Yeah, I need to actually probably add it into my equipment down below. But it is actually the Logitech G29 with the Logitech shifter. I am still like on the fence on whether or not I want to get the A+B shifter. I mean, it's definitely something that I want to get at some point, but I kind of have a few other odds and ends that I'm contemplating getting beforehand. Stuff that'll make the immersion in the stream better
And GM says nice beard. He needs to get it trimmed up. He needs to get his mustache trimmed a little bit.
yeah, well, the mustache, I literally keep forgetting to do it because I've got little scissors that I normally use that are in my locker at work, and I just with being so busy at work, I just always forget about it, and then I get home and I go to eat something and
User
it's like,
joined your channel.
I really need to take care of that.
There's
Starting to look a little scraggly looking. He needs a haircut too.
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with a built-in flavor saver.
I mean, yeah, there kind of is. When you like take a bite and then you have to like squeegee the top part.
Oh, you've not got a flavor saver. You've got a strainer now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nope. Never mind.
Yeah, but I mean, normally I keep it, cut right to the top of my lip, and it, normally not an issue. I just.
Yeah, well, I went and got scalped Saturday morning after work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to that time of year.
I use a haircut before too long as well.
I got appointments for everybody coming up, so
Yeah, it's like the end of this week, right?
yeah.
Friday or something like that.
Yeah, yours is Friday, the girls is Monday, mine's Tuesday, so
Whether I'll get it trimmed up or I'll shave it all off again, I'm not sure yet. Tempted to grow out the sideburns though.
Oh, see, that's one of the things that like bugs me the most is when the sideburns start getting long.
It doesn't bother me actually. A lot of the guys in the shop, my sideburns used to get really big.
Mm-hmm.
They'd go, "What are you, Civil War guy?" I go, "No, I'm a blacksmith." A lot of black.
Nice.
I knew a Twitch guy to get that reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like my sideburns, so that's about the only place I can grow facial hair is my sideburns.
So I know everybody's wanting to know an update. I'm sure your work situation.
Oh, I mean, I kind of talked about that at the beginning, but I can definitely
Yeah,
go
but if
over
you're
it
not
again.
having it turned on because we're waiting for you to come say hi to us, nobody heard it.
Whoa.
I mean, I didn't hear it. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
No, it's good. No, I definitely covered it, but I will go over it again. Those of you that have been kind of in the stream know that I'm kind of in the position where I was taking over the lead position of someone that walked out. That is actually, I've officially have that job now. So
Nice.
I've got the lead position, which all in all, it doesn't carry any extra pay or anything, but it kind of puts me in the position to take over once the boss leaves. So
Okay.
he is. He actually came into work today, which is not typical. But he came in because I guess something happened with his wife last week where she got injured at work. So she's got like medical appointments that he needs to bring her to tomorrow. So he came in
Hi,
early.
good night, GM.
You have a good one, sir.
Later, GM.
Later.
But what he basically told me is, yeah, I have that position. Let's see.
Nice. So when do you switch to the quote-unquote 9 to 5 version of the job?
The quote-unquote 9 to 5 basically is going to depend on my old position was posted at the end of last week, and it goes all the way until Tuesday.
Okay.
For people to like officially apply for it. Then once that is done, I'm assuming that that person is immediately going to come to days, and then they will post the listing for the other night position.
Yeah.
Now, is this an internal posting?
It is it's internal, but it's like shop internal to begin with. So whoever is currently working, they posted the day job. Anyone within the shop has first crack at it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was internal company posted or if it was general public.
Yeah, no, they do a internal. They basically give it to anyone in the shop that wants to move first, but they have to still announce the job.
Yeah.
Then once that is done, if someone applies for it, after a week they immediately close it so that there's not like a bunch of people from within the company that are trying to apply to it.
Yeah.
They'll switch their current position, and then whatever the opening is after that, they will repost that one as a within the company position. And then if there isn't anyone qualified or no one applies for it, then they'll actually do external posting after that, which that's when you would see it on like the different like website job boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like Indeed and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So they're looking at best case
User
scenario
left your
if
channel.
the guy that I've been told applied for it. I obviously haven't seen it, so I don't know for sure if he did. But the boss basically said that he had told the other guy, "Hey, it was open," and he said he was going to apply for it. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
That is the one that closes on Tuesday. So, best case scenario, he might actually be starting this next Sunday working with me. And basically, I just have to kind of retrain him on some of the lab stuff that we do during the day, because he's worked nights so long that there's obviously different stuff we do during the day and it's just kind of, it's more or less just a refresher. Then once he's to the point where he can do that lab and stuff on his own again, I think after that, that's when I'm pretty much able to switch to a Monday through Friday, and it wouldn't be a 9 to 5. It would be a 7 to 3 or 7 to 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
well,
I decide to work is basically what he had said, which was real weird hearing.
Huh.
But it's because I may still have to do like the regular state lab stuff until the other guy gets more comfortable with it. But the boss pretty much wants me in there as much as he can so he can show me everything that I need to know for that when he leaves.
Yeah. Well, I was saying quote unquote 9 to 5 because it's the type of job that most people have, just regular set schedule, easy 5-day a week job.
Oh yeah,
Unlike
no,
my job.
yeah, it is definitely a more normal hours.
Yes. Especially compared to my shift of hours during the summer. Because I'll be in at random times throughout the day and night, so.
Right, but the thing he did kind of say today was it sounded like he said a couple months, like 2 months, and he's pretty much gone.
Oh, you got a lot to learn in 2 months then.
Well, it's not a whole lot. It's definitely stuff that is manageable to learn in 2 months, because a lot of it is, it's more keeping track of what everyone else is doing and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
For visual stuff, okay.
Yeah. And as long as they're doing that, then the other stuff I can pretty much be looking at every day, because like there's stuff that we have to do at certain times during the year.
Yeah.
But we have schedules. Like all that stuff is pretty much set up. So unless something comes down and they change it, which it would be like for our state lab stuff, when it gets to certain like holidays, like the most common one is around Thanksgiving. They're going to be closed on Thursday, and that's normally one of the days that we bring our labs in. So it'll kind of switch that schedule around, and that's the kind of thing that may change.
Alrighty.
But a
So
lot
the
of
stuff
it is
he's already working on doing, and the boss even said is like, once you get this stuff, like it's just the little stuff that's not the biggest,
Yeah, and every time he mentions something, he's like, "Oh, it's easy." It's easy because he's done it for a while. So like, I'm not completely naive and think it's gonna be like seamless the minute I start, but
No,
it's not necessarily gonna be all that hard. It's just it's new, is the biggest thing. There's gonna be things that I'm gonna have to take care of that I don't even know about. And so it's going to be trying to learn all that stuff and when it needs to be done and the stuff that he's doing that no one else takes care of.
And Redbone, when he's talking about normal, he means normal people hours. I know we're not normal around here.
Yeah, I don't
either.
know what normal is either. It's more when the sun comes up, sun goes down hours.
Redbone, don't be dissing on my abnormal hours, bud. Seriously.
I think he probably keeps abnormal hours
Yeah,
too, considering he's a truck driver.
True. Very true.
Yo, what's up, Tuba? What is up? Welcome in.
And there's nothing to say. Most people think normal hours is when you work an 8-hour shift too.
What's that?
What's that? Yeah. The average shift for me is 10 to 12 hours.
Just be glad you're not on a rotating 8 schedule.
No, thank you.
No, thank
User
you.
joined your channel.
Yep, I got a friend of mine. He works maintenance at Coca-Cola, one of the distribution plants,
Yeah.
and he's in the maintenance department. And they're on a rotating 8 schedule.
Oh, gee.
3 weeks on first shift, 3 weeks on second shift, 3 weeks on third.
I mean,
No, thank you.
I understand it, but at the same time, it's like that is such a hard thing to to do. Like you
Yeah.
never get used to a shift, so it's like you're always playing catch up from week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not an easy schedule. Well, I'm gonna hop off for the night because the dogs are going crazy. So I gotta get ready for bed. I should need to be in bed here in about an hour. I'll be asleep, but I'll be in bed. So
All right, I hear you. Have a good one, sir.
Later, Frank.
Night, Frank.
gotta be up early tomorrow. Start pumps. So or start a pump. I gotta try and get the sprayer started. We'll see how that shit goes. Excuse my
Is
French.
it irrigation day?
It's gonna be irrigation week this week, next week until we start cutting.
Oh, jeez.
Every week for till about the end of April.
This hayfields.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Have fun with that.
Hayfields and pecan trees. Cotton ground's already taken care of, so. Alright, I'm out of here.
Later.
All right, you have a good
Later,
one.
Frank.
User
Hi, Tuba.
disconnected from your channel.
No, I already kind of get to play boss tomorrow too, so.
I was gonna say you're gonna be the only one in there tomorrow, so.
Nope. One of the
No?
one of the guys from the day shift end of the week is coming in to basically help me out.
Ah, that'll be nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Also
there's a lot of stuff that goes on from day to day for one, and then I think with everything we're trying to kind of get set up, he's wanting to get some help in because that way I can be getting that other stuff caught up because there's a lot of stuff that
Who's coming in to help you?
Waller.
Ah, that's nice.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, he's used to having to listen to somebody else and not our.
Well, no, what I mean by this is one of them guys that, like, whenever I've worked with him, it's like I'm at my wit's end because he jumps all over the place. It's hard to keep him focused on one thing because he'll do something and then he'll bounce over here and do that and then bounce over here and do this instead of just
Oh, he's a squirrel.
pretty much, yeah. And when one of the reasons I came home later this past Wednesday was the boss was training me on some stuff, and then when we got back, he had to take off, and this guy was having some, let's say, how's a good way of putting this without, he was having some personal issues with someone that he used to be dating, and it's gotten to the point where it involves like police personnel.
Oh.
Ooh, so he was having jurisdictional relationship issues.
I
that involve
mean,
the
kinda
police.
like I mean, obviously there's two sides of the story, but we've gotten a lot of drama from his side, basically about things that she's done, and like he was getting real emotional and stuff, and like when I got in there, he was like talking to a detective over the phone because he thought he was going to get hemmed up for something that wasn't even his fault. I guess his phone somehow had dialed that number, and that number was actually on his phone was blocked. Like he blocked it, so it should never have called there, and it did. And that person, let's say, has an order against him, so that it's like real bad if it actually happened. And so he was like on the phone with his phone company and with the detective, basically saying, hey, this is what happened and I'm getting all this stuff, so trying to give him a heads up in case she tried to call him up and say he's trying to contact me, this, that, and the other. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so I don't know what part of that is actually true and what's not, but it was bad. On Wednesday, like I probably talked to him for about an hour
User joined your channel.
before he kind of got to a point where he was like, I need something to do. Like, and it was like that quick. He was like going through this whole thing, and he's like, you got something for me to do because I need to do something. It's like, yeah, we told you when you first got in, but
Hi, Sarge.
we definitely
Evening.
kind of got him headed into getting some work done, and it was fine after that. But it was like, if it's like that every time, oof.
Hello?
Hello.
I do
I didn't even know I had talk power.
I mean, you do.
I give it out. I don't even let Mr. do it anymore.
I mean, you
And
pretty much know who I would give it to anyways, so I'm not really that picky, but I mean, you know the guys that have been around a bunch, and for the most part, if they're safe to be on John's stream, they're safe to be on mine, so
yeah, that's why I gave Tuba talk power and give Sarge talk power.
If I,
that's one less thing for me to have to do, because you know I pay super attention to TeamSpeak.
Oh yeah.
if I knew I had talk power, I would have been talking to you guys.
I don't think he can hear you right now at the moment.
Actually, it hasn't gone off yet, but yeah, I do see it. And I'm really hoping it's not deciding that it's going to be broke again today.
I've played on Kiwi Farms for around 12 hours today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what do you think?
User left your
it's
channel.
fantastic. I have, where's the hours at again? I have 21 hours in here in total. I started midway through the day on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, mister, I think Fet's broke it again.
I mean, it's always broke for him. I think he does something to it. What was it, the Jaws?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all plan on going for a while longer tonight, or?
Not well. I mean, we're gonna see what
He'll
we
be
can
in
get
for
done
at least
by.
another hour.
Yeah, at least another hour, but we'll see exactly
Okay.
what we can get done.
All right then. Well, if you want, I'll come in and give you guys a hand.
Yeah, that's cool. We definitely
He
need
would-
it.
He would love it. I'm sure.
Yeah, yours didn't play either.
Yeah, I always redid it just to see.
Bet. It looks like it doesn't like you too much either.
There we go. Alright, now that that's taken care of, it's fixed, we can get back to work.
I've played too much farms on the past 2 days.
Is there such a
About between both days, I have 4 hours.
I was gonna say, when did that get to be so long?
Jaws has always been that long.
Oh, it was Twitch guy.
But Fitz and a Twitch guy, thank you very much for those bits and the sound clips. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I actually forgot to check to see if that board was working today before I started. On Thursday, I checked it and it was, it was working fine. So
Don't they not coming up as the notification?
has it not been?
It didn't come up when I played.
It shows that it did for me.
Yeah, it did
It's
for
right
me.
above Feds.
Not that one. I'm talking about the on-screen notification.
Oh, it's the actual alert, not.
Yeah, just give me alert. Yeah, the alert didn't scroll.
Oh, on Kiwi, if you do the multi-fruit,
Mm-hmm.
hops are a good cash crop. But if you have periodic plowing on, you have to plow after it.
After all multi-fruit.
I don't think after all. I think it's just hops, because hops is a crop like corn. You have to harvest it with a corn header.
Yeah, that's. You ever seen them
User joined your
harvest
channel.
actual hops?
No.
Hops is about 30 foot tall.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's hung like grapevines are.
Yeah, see, these were freestanding plants, and they're taller than the ideal combine.
Yeah, some hops are freestanding about 10 to 12 before they can get blown over real easy.
Hey, what's up, crazy? How are you doing this evening? In fact, I think it's hard to time really any of the sound clips because there is like a second. It does say 10-second delay whenever you do it, at least on my end. So I don't know if it's any different for when you guys do it. I know it does a countdown, but it may actually be a little more difficult than the 10 seconds. And thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated. Welcome on in.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, I do hope that you do feel better.
Oh, and speaking up of adding and changing your setup, you're fixing to have to change that graphics card, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
It shipped.
I was gonna say when I ordered it, what I ordered it on Thursday, or was it Friday?
Sometime in there.
I forget. I do know whenever I ordered it, they basically were saying they were out of stock with them until the 25th, but they must have either gotten them in earlier, or maybe that was when the earliest they were going to be able to ship it was. But that's going to be like amazing when I get that in.
When did you get there? The 1660?
I sure did. I mean, you can't beat that for a couple $100. I think I paid $280, $290, something like that. Like, it was not bad at all.
Holy crap! No, that's not bad at all. No.
No.
No, it was $330 total with the protection plan and
tax and all that.
Yeah.
Did you get it through?
I actually went through Amazon because it was a little bit faster for us to get it because we have Prime and all that. So.
Oh yeah. And all I've got is I think the 1030 GT. I think that's all I'm running.
Yeah, I'm actually running a 960 right now.
Yeah.
So I've actually been pretty fortunate with my graphics card. I think I started with a 760 and someone saw that I was streaming using it and said nope, I just got a better card, so they gifted me the 960. So this is really the first graphics card that I've actually had to buy.
Yeah.
And for $200, it's nowhere. It's nowhere near the best, but it's pretty on par for what I need and what I'm, using it for.
Yeah. I know when I'm trying to go buy, I was just gonna go buy a brand new computer. It was like $900 to get something that's even close to what I just built. I
Yeah.
only paid. I would spend about $350 to build the whole computer.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been about 600, but that motherboard I got for it kept ordering.
User
one,
left your channel.
And 3 in a row they were shipped. They were all damaged.
Oh wow.
So they gave me an upgraded one for free. They went to the next series up and they just shipped it to me for free because of the hassle.
How do you get that many broken cards in a row, though?
I don't know. I had one at the corner of my card was broken, so it wasn't reading the RAM. And then the second one, the slot for the graphics card, the pins were all bent and mangled.
Okay.
And then the third one, the CPU just wouldn't read. Something was wrong with the socket. It was an i7 with 4 cores, and I was only reading 1 core.
Oh wow.
And I tried it on my old motherboard, and it read all 4, so it was the slot that was.
Yeah, we haven't really actually had too many problems with any of our computers. Although Heather's, I'm kind of worried about a little bit.
Yeah, no, I heard she was having problems with it last night there. She was kept acting up.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, like, I'm pretty good at, like, a lot of computer stuff, but what hers is almost acting as, like, the hard drive is going bad. But it's real odd. Like, sometimes you go in there and she's, running 1 or 2 things, and it'll say that the disk is at 100%, and then other times you go in there, she's running more than that, and it'll be, actually be low. So most of the time, if it's like a hard drive going like that, it's like that all the time. It doesn't go up and then drop down. It's just like screaming at 100% always.
Yeah.
So I've actually gone in there, and there's a couple things that they kind of suggested turning off that is like part of the services stuff.
Yeah.
And I've shut that stuff off to see if that helps at all, but like outside of that, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's like a definite way of testing the hard drive to see if it's failing or not.
When's the last time you've defragged the hard drive? That could be another.
I'm gonna go with never.
User disconnected
There's
from the channel.
a program in there you look up to defragment it, and it's all it does is it rearranges files, so it runs more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know mine, I had mine for 6 years and I never knew that was a thing, and that's what has happened. Is mine was just kept.
No, I'll definitely try that then.
Overheating and stuff like that. So then I just did that, and it's bought me another 2 or 3 years out of that hard drive.
Yeah, what it does is it gets file fragments that are unreadable and unusable, and it just clogs up the system.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was always worried about doing the defrag because on one of the computers that one of my parents had, they defragged it and they lost sound for the entire computer. They could never get it back. I don't even remember what they ultimately did, but it like jacked the sound up like big time.
Huh.
And that was just off of a defrag, so I mean,
I don't know.
maybe that's the way it was done. The defrag programs at the time just were not that good. Maybe they're better now, but
Maybe. I don't know. Because I know I did mine, and my benchmark score, or not my benchmark score, my performance score on my computer, my hard drive was 5.5 out of 10.
okay.
Just all I did is defragged it, and I gained. Now I'm up at 7.2
Oh
out
wow.
of 10, just from defragging it. And the hard drive, all I've done to it is I've downloaded my the whatever, the Steam, TeamSpeak, and stuff like that. I don't have a whole bunch of files on here yet.
Mhm.
So if she's been like adding files and then deleting them, they'll always leave a trace behind.
Right.
So that's what could be screwing it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. I just wouldn't think it would run the disk at 100%. You know.
No, but you can always, before you defrag it, there's a thing, you can analyze it first before you actually go ahead and defrag it.
That's right, because it's supposed to tell you exactly how much it'll.
How much is
It'll
fragged.
tell you how bad it is.
Yeah. Well, that just means that she can't be on it. So.
And the way I've usually described it, as far as any kind of layman's terms, like a filing cabinet that you are in and out of all the time. It's gotten disorganized.
Right. It's like
It
everything gets
basically
put in
puts
there in a
everything-
certain order.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
when
puts
you
all the
remove
A's
things,
back together, the B's, the C's, you know, it puts it all back where it's supposed to be.
right. And I get it. I just, like I said, I've had computers that have gotten screwed up from defragmenting, so I was kind of paranoid about doing it, but
Right.
we'll definitely try that before anything else.
Is she just running just hard drive?
What do you mean?
Like in the, or does she have an SSD card in there too?
Oh, I'm trying to remember on hers. I want to say hers is just a regular hard drive.
Okay.
Because we bought hers off of, I want to say Amazon.
Okay.
And I wouldn't imagine that for what we paid for it, that it would have a
No.
SSD. Because I think we paid like $300 or $400 at the most for it.
Yeah. Yeah, because an SD card runs anywhere from like 100 up.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Probably not an SSD.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, my brother's, he just recently redid his to a 500 gig SSD. He's got a 15-second boot time.
Yeah.
I don't even think mine's that, honestly. But I have one that's SSD, and then I have the HHD for the Windows, like the actual operating system, but everything else is on the SD. And I can restart it in I guess probably somewhere around the same speed. Like it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his Windows and everything's on the SSD now. And that 15-second load time does include a start file that opens like 6 programs up too.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it goes from completely shut down to ready in 15 seconds.
That, and the only other thing that I would recommend is, if you are worried about running the defrag, before you do that,
Do a backup.
take in, back up any photos, whatever, that you wouldn't want to lose.
Honestly, on her computer, I don't think there's a whole lot.
Not really.
Because, I mean, at one time I would say, yeah, there was a bunch of stuff where she was doing like schoolwork and stuff when she was going for her master's and everything, but I mean, she's done with that, so aside from just having examples of the different papers or whatever, I don't think it would matter if that stuff was lost anyways. And I don't think you've put a whole lot of pictures on the computer, have you?
Mm-mm.
So
Stuff I've saved from Facebook and stuff, but
yeah.
Okay, just back up anything to where, if you were to lose the hard drive, still got it saved somewhere else.
Right.
But other than that, yeah. Now, the only thing that I could foresee causing any problems after a defrag is if where you had, say, a driver file, if it's corrupt.
Well, then you could
Then
just
you would just have
re-download
to
the
reinstall
driver.
the drivers and good to go. It's usually for something to quit working, you know. Otherwise, it's a hardware problem.
Right.
Why did it close? Ooh. Doing a tango.
And I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Gigantic. I mean, I see the comment, but I don't know what you were running. Are you asking if the one I'm getting was like a pre-used one or what?
Those comments are old anyways, like it was, I don't remember what we're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm asking, because it's just like, as far as I can see, there's nothing before that was referencing it, so.
I think that's when you were talking about your new video card.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured that. I just, when he's saying in or out of box cards,
I'm thinking that may be a new one or a used one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if that's what you're referring to, it was definitely a new card. When it comes to video cards, I never buy, or I never get a used one unless it's like gifted. But I'm not going to pay money for a used one because you honestly don't know what it was used for.
No.
And with all this stuff with this, the Bitcoin mining stuff, people will run them GPUs until they're just about dead, and then sell them. And then if you're paying a huge amount for them, you could be paying almost full price for a card that's gonna die in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got anybody that can get into the overclocking and stuff like that to where
Yeah.
you're not careful doing that stuff, you can damage some hardware pretty easy.
Right. Well, I know the card that I got was the 1660 Ti, and I pretty much anything that was available, like I compared it. And
He was talking about Canadian Bacon, the issues he had with his cards.
oh, okay.
So they were all brand new.
They
They
were
were just on the box when they were shipped. It wasn't labeled fragile. So they were just boxes were just tossed around.
okay.
You know, honestly, I think sometimes that doesn't matter.
Oh, I've gotten a boxes that say fragile on it. It's got a hole inside of the box.
Well, I know this is slightly different, but I was deployed to a remote location before, and there were several times that if there was you could volunteer for the mail detail. It kind of looked good for you to volunteer for different stuff, and it was like almost a point that if there was something that was labeled fragile, the first thing that was happened with it, it was whipped into the back of the truck. Like it was almost a given. I mean, I never did it, but it's like you heard about people saying, "Oh, fragile," and then they would immediately throw it in the truck.
Yeah, chuck it as hard as they could and just
Yeah.
be it.
So, and I always kind of, whenever I think about that, I always think of the Ace Ventura, the first one, the opening scene of him kicking the box down the street, and Like
Yeah.
keeping it with his feet and throwing it over the top of his head and getting closed in the elevator. That's what I think of when I think of anything that's labeled as fragile. You just have to assume there's going to be someone that wants to do that.
You know, the reason I said that doesn't always mean anything is because a couple of years ago, I had a trombone delivered to the house, right, and the box was just mushed in.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hope it's not broke.
How bad was the damage?
The trombone wasn't damaged at all.
The packaging was just destroyed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I order car parts from Rock Auto and stuff all the time, and I've gotten like alternators that the cast aluminum and stuff like that that's around the casing of the alternator is broken.
Oh
It was
jeez.
thrown around that bad.
The best packaging I'd ever seen. A guy was shipping it was a lathe head for a 16-inch swing lathe. Bolted it to the bottom of a crate and then put creep foam in it so it filled up all the air gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
This thing arrived across the country. It was just the foam packaging in the base when it got there.
Like
And
the,
they shipped.
the entire box was gone.
Yep.
Oh my god.
But all the foam was still stuck to everything. So
Yeah.
the chuck head, the handle, the jaws, all the pieces were still there.
I mean, how would they even know where to deliver that thing?
What the lathe head was bolted to was a 3/4 inch piece of plywood.
And
That's the only part of the box that was still there, and it had the shipping label on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's the gnarliest thing he'd ever seen.
God.
And UPS doesn't know where the crate pieces are. It just showed up at the guy's house. He thought somebody just shipped him in a foam block till he tried to pick it up. Like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, we have a real problem around here. A lot of the packages are supposed to be signed for, and if no one's there to sign for them, they're supposed to put it back in their truck and bring it back to their warehouse or whatever for us to pick up.
Right.
And we've had multiple times where they just leave it on our doorstep. Come home from work and I got like $4,000 worth of car parts and stuff sitting on my doorstep.
God.
I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't think they were allowed to even do that. Like,
They're not supposed to. I went back there and I went and talked to the manager at the warehouse or the dispatch down here.
Well, in the area of town I live in now, if you get anything delivered that's worth over $400, they make you sign for it, whether it's UPS,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah.
the Postal Service, or FedEx.
I mean, at that point, it's a liability on their end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last time I had anything of any significant price delivered here, it didn't require a signature, but the part that got me,
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in the living room, and the front door is like, I don't know, 6 feet away from me.
Okay.
They come up, they put the package on the front porch, don't even knock on the door, don't ring the doorbell. If I hadn't seen the truck come down the little cul-de-sac, I wouldn't have known that they delivered anything to the house. And I was home.
Yeah. I think that's a new thing, honestly. I think they're like afraid of people with like different animals. Not that the animal is necessarily going to attack them, but rather than knocking on the door and then the animals going nuts, they just drop the package off and leave it, assuming that you're going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays with all the package tracking, even if you don't have the tracking on it, you can still, for the most part, look on their sites and say, oh, it was dropped off today, or it's in the process of being dropped off, or it's at this facility.
Yeah.
So I think so many people are actually keeping an eye on where it is that they don't even bother knocking anymore. Which, in my opinion, is kind of sad.
Yeah.
When my computer was delivered in December, I was sitting in my room, and my room's like right next to the road. So I hear the truck just backing up our road because it's a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hear the loud beep. That's how I knew they were here.
Yeah, we generally kind of check the, like, if we're expecting something, we're like, you know, checking it pretty regularly just so we know where it's at. But that's because we've had times where it has said, oh yeah, it was delivered, it's at your doorstep, or you know, whatever, and we've been home all day, we go out there, look, it's not there, and it's more of a, hey, you know, you guys said you delivered it, where is it? And it was like at a point where it was like 8 o'clock at night, where if it was going to be like they were saying it was dropped off, because sometimes they do it where they say it's dropped off, but they haven't actually dropped it off yet. This was like beyond that time.
Yeah.
But it said that it had been delivered, so we didn't know, well, maybe they did drop it off, but then someone took it off the step or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed up, I think, the next day or whatever. But it was like, why are you going to even post that you delivered it if you didn't?
Yeah.
Right.
It might have just been on the truck and they decided, no, we'll get that tomorrow. We'll just wait to post it.
Well, this is why I have that stuff. When I order stuff from Amazon now, I actually tell them in the delivery description where to set it.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And they set it there, take a picture of it, send it to me. I got a notification on my phone that it's been delivered, and this is where it is. It's the first time I ever ordered anything from Amazon. It took like 3 days to get here.
Yeah, but I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, 3 days is not bad. But
No.
I just know I don't have anything delivered to a P.O. box anymore.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, that
Well, I
takes
mean-
a week.
Oh, like just because it's a P.O. box, it takes that long?
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's kind of weird.
Well, it makes it the thing about it is because of how it goes to our post office. It gets rerouted twice because of the way the post office are out in my area.
Okay.
It's got to be forwarded twice to get to my post office.
Interesting.
Yep. It's just weird how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because the zip code is only for the actual post office. The towns around me have 6 different zip codes depending on what street you live on.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
That's
And when you built your house.
oh.
I know for a fact that there's 2 houses side by side. One was built in the 50s. One was built about 10 years ago. And each they have 2 different zip codes.
Hmm. That's weird.
Well, that's what happens when you have older communities that have their own post office and distribution center
Yeah.
where the mail trucks come out of, and then it closed, and it got
Yeah.
moved to the next town over, and then it got moved to the next city over. So
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. So just the way the lines run, pretty much.
mhm.
How many digits are you guys usually in your guys' zip codes?
If I get something set to the post office box, it's only 5.
Okay.
If I actually have to have a a postal service package delivered, it's 9.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got the zip code for my area and then the location code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's that little 4-digit
Uh-huh.
number after, or hyphenated after the zip.
Yep.
Oh, spring break starts in 5 days for me.
Is it really?
Yeah, Friday's my last day before spring break.
It's amazing how different the spring breaks run.
Mm-hmm.
Because my daughter just had theirs, last week. So they're actually going back to school tomorrow. I think Zach is on it. His starts this week.
Yeah, I know. When I lived in Saskatchewan with my uncle and cousin for a bit there, the school was so small that spring break, there was no set date. It's whenever the group of farmers in that town decided that it's dry enough to start getting ready to seed.
I can believe it.
And then all of a sudden, that's when spring break was.
So it wasn't spring break, it was seed break.
Pretty much.
It was working week is what it was.
And it was either a week long or up to 3 weeks long. It wasn't just.
Oh wow.
So then if it was only a week, it was mandatory. It had to be at least 2. So if it was only a week, school was done a week early, or they had a week longer for harvest. That's another thing. They have a month off around harvest, and then they go into July for school.
Yeah, for some reason I want to say we had something like that. Not in our school district up in Minnesota, but I think there were some guys that actually lived in like Wisconsin, because we were like right near the Minnesota-Wisconsin border. I mean, we were like 50 miles from it, so there were actually people that attended a Minnesota school but actually lived in Wisconsin, and they got out of school early because they actually would go till June, but with the way the weather is, that was kind of right around where the last couple weeks in May, that's when they were really planting stuff.
Yeah.
So they were actually getting out of school like 2 weeks early because of that.
Oh yeah.
So I can kind of see where that would happen in different locations.
Yeah, because
Speaking of school, I'll see you guys later because I gotta go to school tomorrow.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah, no, like
User disconnected
our
from
school
your
was so
channel.
small. I think our graduating class was 9 people,
Oh wow.
and that was
Wow,
12.
somebody that finally beat me. Oh,
that was
Yeah,
12
didn't you have like
pounds.
28 or something like that?
34.
34. Okay.
Yeah, no, if I would have stayed here in BC, my grad class would have been 680. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to sit through that one. I went to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I guess our graduating class was somewhere around there. I was thinking it was closer to 300, but Heather called me on it last Thursday where we were talking about it.
Oh.
And she remembers numbers a lot better than I do, so
Yeah.
her number is probably closer than mine.
Yeah, no, I had friends that were graduating. They were texting me. Their grad ceremony took 5.5 hours, and ours was only 45 minutes in Saskatchewan. So
Oh, I gotcha.
no, I went through that whole grad ceremony thing,
User
and then it
joined
was
your
a
channel.
year later when I went into college. I found out that there was because Saskatchewan doesn't require certain core classes. It didn't count towards my GED. So I technically graduated, but I don't have my certificate or my diploma saying I did.
Well, I mean, if you completed it, it's just the school should have it on file.
Yeah, it's weird. It's because of Saskatchewan was behind a year in their school district stuff.
Okay.
Across Canada, it was English had to be mandatory to grade 12, math had to be mandatory to grade 12. In Saskatchewan, it was any course was only mandatory to grade 11. Grade 12, you could do whatever you wanted, kind of thing.
All your electives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I technically don't have my grade 12 English. I have my math, but not my English. I just gotta go back and do that now. But
Well,
Yeah, I don't know how it is up there in Canada for you guys, but I know pretty much with us, it's you really can't even get a job most of the time unless you have that actual certificate or GED.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
lucked out, but
you know this, you're definitely not getting in the military.
no.
Unless they give you a waiver.
Yeah.
But,
That's a hard one to get.
yeah, nowadays it is. Before, no.
Like I lucked out before I was out of high school. I already had my level 1 construction apprenticeship and my level 1 welding.
Oh wow.
So, because
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
uncles that were in it in BC here that were in construction,
Mm-hmm.
and then because my cousin out in Saskatchewan knew someone at a heavy duty mechanics shop that would let us work during the winter. He had his red seal for welding, and he apprenticed both me and my cousin.
Okay.
And we were only 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say construction's kind of one of them gray areas because as long as you've got the skills,
Yeah.
you know, they'll let you do it, or they can send you to like a trade school for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, I think most of the time you need to have a GED or
Yeah,
or
you need the
equivalent.
GID to take the course, but I got away with it because we lived about 10-15 minutes from Alberta. Like, we were like almost right on the border, and that was the time when Alberta was struggling to find tradesmen. So they offered it that you could work your hours as soon as you got to 1,000 hours. You didn't have to go take the course. As long as you show up at college, take the test, and you pass with more than 75%,
Okay.
you got your first level. You didn't actually have to sit through the 1 month course.
See, I almost wish that there was like a lot of places that were like that
Yeah,
because
they don't do it anymore, but they used to. That's because they were struggling for a couple of years there. They were just didn't have anybody that was in the trades there.
Mhm.
Everyone was all in the oil field and the rigs and stuff like that.
Down here, they used to have something called I think it was a family apprenticeship. And if you had immediate family, say like you wanted to be an electrician, your dad or your uncle or a first cousin was an electrician, you could do an apprenticeship through them without having to go to school. Yeah.
Yeah, here you can get your hours doing that way, but you still have to go in for your 4-week course.
Yeah, see, here, now you have to go to a trade school or whatever trade it is, and then you have to find a master electrician, master plumber, or whatever to apprentice under, and usually the apprenticeship lasts 3 to 5 years now.
Mister, you're stuck in a tree.
Mister is treed. Hello, everyone.
no, like I'm
Okay.
like
You're in the tree.
You're in
I'm
the
like
tree.
climbing the tree.
What did you do?
I don't think the trees need to be cut up there. I think you could fall in from the ground.
I mean,
You need ramming speed.
I don't know if that helped or not, or
I'm not like in the air elevated anymore.
how we.
I mean,
You still stuck or no?
oh yeah, big time. Like
Alright.
it's almost like the trunk is like through the wheel.
I'm on my way.
There we go.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't even
Yep,
know
got
how
it.
I got stuck in there either. But Heather, I did see the thing about the outlet, so I will take care of that when I am done here. We have an outlet in our garage that keeps popping. It's got a GFI on it. It may just be a bad GFI outlet,
Yeah.
but
More than likely.
but when it goes off, it kills the outlets in the garage, which we
Yeah.
actually have one of those deep freezers out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's enough built up on it that it's
Yeah.
fine. But it also kills the light in our pantry. So there's been a couple times where that one's popped and we're like, this light won't come on. We couldn't ever figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And
The
that
odds
just
are the GFCI just probably took a crap on you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's either the plug or if the breaker. I don't know if the breaker is the same thing because you can get breakers that are the GFI.
No, this is specifically like the outlet.
Oh, okay.
Anybody want 2 kids?
I already got
No.
2.
No, I've got two.
Nope. I got 2.
I've had them up for sale for a while. And there's been no takers.
Yeah, and
Apparently 2 is the number, guys.
people our age will get. I clipped that right there that you did, Mister.
I don't know what you're
Did
talking
George
about.
watch out for the tree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, for those of you that are paying attention, if you understand that reference, you had a good childhood.
I had a good childhood.
Oh, hey,
Mister.
I mean, most of us
Hello.
know what that is, but
Hun, is your door open?
I don't believe so. Why?
I need you to open it. Your daughter needs to come in and grab her blanket.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Give me just 1 second, guys. I will be back in a second.
and this is why you need a Google Smart Lock on the door.
No, I just need kids not to bring their stuff into the office.
But it's a safe haven from the other child.
Not when they're here. It's not.
Good luck. You have daughters.
All right, give me just a second.
See, and everything
Microphone
Mister's
muted.
talking about and Heather, I gotta still go through all that.
Don't worry, Pudge's girls are older.
Yeah, Pudge is lucky.
He's got teenagers.
Oh,
I got one that's almost 18, so I'm almost off the hook for one of them.
I'd be glad you live somewhere else other than where I live, because then it'd be 19.
Technically here it's 23, but you're on the hook for medical and stuff like that till 23. If they go to college after high school. She's not. She's taking a year off and then thinking about college.
Microphone
So
activated.
then you get to pick up the medical.
Nope. So then it's void.
All right, I am back.
Because it's lived just continuous schooling, isn't it?
Yep.
see, that's why I like Canada. Okay, I can't say we have free medical because we pay out the ass for gas and tax, but
You have subsidized medical.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And we have to pay when we're paying like 50 or 60 cents less than you guys, and you guys are at a gallon, we're at a liter. Our tax on our fuel is almost 43% or something like that. And then we have our provincial and federal tax, which is another 14%.
Well, I kind of think, at least with the medical, that was what that Obamacare was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But it was very poorly executed, and
it was just rushed.
Well, it was rushed, and then it was penalized if you didn't have it done by a certain date, and the site wasn't even like fully functional by the date that they said you needed to have it, and
yeah.
And then if too many people got on it, it crashed.
Yeah, it was definitely rushed. And then I think the concept was okay, but there was a lot of stuff that they did with it that just didn't make sense.
Well, there was a lot of things that he did that didn't make sense.
Well, I just have a problem with being forced to purchase something that I'll never use.
And that's exactly what I was going to get at. There was, right around when it was coming out, there was a guy that was basically, he was older, his wife was older, had kids that were already out on their own, grown, but according to the policy, they had to get this specific amount policy, right? In that policy, there was stuff about
prenatal care and
yes,
all kinds of things.
But all
birth control.
Exactly. But his wife was already past that point where that was even a thing. He obviously wasn't going to have any more, but they still had to have that stuff.
Yeah.
So under the policy that he had originally had, he had everything covered, but because of that new policy, they had to get the minimum amount, and it still doubled what he was paying before. And it was supposed to be the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah. And then you get into the sticky situation, which most people hate discussing, politics and religion.
Yeah.
Where, for example, you're Catholic. They don't believe in birth control. But yet you have to purchase a health insurance policy which covers that.
Right.
Which it was a good concept, but it wasn't well thought out and well executed.
No. See, out here, when you go to do like anything with your like Service Canada and stuff like that, and they start talking to you, it's not mother and father anymore. It's parent 1 and parent 2.
And
No, don't get started on that.
I was gonna ask why, but I kind of get it.
Think about it.
Yeah, no, I get it now. I just initially when you said it, is like, why? Oh, okay, got it.
Well, it's either, it's like oh my God, shoes.
Wow, guys, just wow.
Oh my God.
I mean, I know you don't agree with it, but I mean, to each their own.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of with you there. It's you choose it and all that. My experience has been more on the work side. You either perform your job or you don't. I could care less what you do at home.
Right. So I do get it. I understand that it's not comfortable for some. I've never really had any issues with it, but
I don't have any issues with it. Just don't hit on me, okay?
I know. I'm not saying you do. I'm throwing it out there that you know there are people that do have issues.
What? There's nothing wrong with being hit on by the opposite sex. I may have been hit on by the opposite sex before.
They're not talking about the opposite sex.
Or I mean by the same sex.
No, I mean,
All right, I'll be right back.
it's just a thing that does make some people uncomfortable. I mean, I had to deal with it when they were, they kind of did the whole military before. They always had
The DADT.
Don't ask.
don't ask, don't tell, and they were repealing that, so that was going to be a thing, and everyone was all in an uproar about oh, now they're gonna be every. It's like no, I mean, it wasn't like it was illegal to be gay and be in the military. There were those people, you just didn't know, and now that thought is there that there may be someone that you know that can openly say that they are. That's the only difference. So
You saw the comment, didn't you?
Yep, I did.
And you did it in front of the mister, like really crazy.
I
thought
mean,
that was just
I'm still in the room. I mean,
The thing
Ah,
is crazy.
crazy.
You must take the girls with her.
yes.
Yeah, you have to take kids
Uh-huh.
package deal.
And the younger dog too.
And the younger dog.
What, just the young one?
Well, the older dog is pretty much my dog. Although I don't know for
mean-
how much longer.
Let's go. She says, "LOL, you think that's gonna stop her?"
I mean, I already gave you away to her once, right?
I know, right?
Just no. No,
Meow.
no. He's not here.
How are you, Twitchy?
Getting ready for work.
You.
Yeah. The only thing I can say that is good, we got a new van while I
yeah?
was off. Uh-huh. Because our other one was screaming.
Oh yeah.
It had an electric clutch on the fan, and the clutch quit working, so the fan was engaged all the time now.
Ooh.
It sounded like a diesel truck. So
Times.
it got put in the shop,
I can see that.
and we got a replacement van, which is an identical van with about 20,000 less miles. Same year, same model, same specs, everything. And it has two things wrong with it. But what's wrong with it is a fault in design with that style of van.
Okay.
The check engine light is on.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it is on is because of an O2 sensor problem.
Okay.
And the O2 sensor problem is because where the O2 sensor is mounted, it's not shielded real well. And some of the places that they would take these vans, it'd rip the wire out of the O2 sensor. Uh-huh.
I mean,
No.
flaws, right?
Hmm?
Flaws, right?
They got school tomorrow, crazy. I can't pick them up right now.
I mean, you could, but.
And the other dashboard light is on is the TPMS sensor. Which I hate that thing.
What traction control?
No, tire pressure monitoring system.
Oh, yeah, no.
And it drives us up the wall because all 5 wheels, the 4 on the ground and the spare, all have a pressure sensor in them.
Okay.
And if they don't, when they rotate the tires, if they don't reset the sensors, the system throws a fault.
Okay.
Because with the vans we use, the front tires run at 55 pounds. No, the front run at 75 and the rear run at 55.
Right, so they're gonna just say it's either too high or too low.
Yep, and with the way we rotate the tires is we don't do we don't do front to back and then flip the back to the front. We literally do a clockwise rotation
Really?
because they drop the spare, put it on, rotate the tires, and then put the 5th tire back up under as the spare
Okay.
to keep the wear pattern all the same.
A little different, but okay.
That makes sense. You always end up with a spare that's 100% tread, and then
Yeah, you end up with a spare that is somewhat similar to the rest of the tires,
yeah,
instead of a full depth tire that's dry rotted,
yeah. I've
which
had
I
it.
have had happen.
Yeah. I know I had
Aren't
the
you too crazy?
tire go flat, and I blew the rear end of my truck because of that.
But the
all the
other bad thing is, but the other bad thing is when the tire pressure sensor goes bad. Guess how much those little things are?
Oh, I know, they're ridiculous.
Yeah,
The ones we use or have to use are $80 a piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have my code reader, and I just whatever, put a fault in the computer saying that they're running good, even though they're not actually in the rims, so I don't have to keep replacing them.
Yep, you've got the grip check.
Cheating
as
the
long as I-
system there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's check your tires before you go. It's
Yeah.
That's what I do it daily every night, but then tomorrow morning I'll do a weekly on the van.
yeah,
And I got to remember to bring a tire knocker with me.
yeah. But I got we bought a 2016 van, and the first 3 months we had it, we had 4 tire pressure sensors fail,
Jeez.
all at different times.
All different wheels as well.
No, the front driver's side went twice, and then every other one was once, except for the front passenger side.
Our old van, the front driver tire is the one that would always fail. And come to find out, it was because of a shock issue, because of how rough our yard is, and we would always approach something with the driver side front tire first. That initial jolt
Oh yeah.
would just wreak havoc with it.
Yeah, no,
Let's see. As far as the tire pressure thing, except for one place I've taken my truck to get service, I can tell you this much. That's one way I could always tell you that they rotated the tires. I
Pressures
no
are
more
wrong.
get back. Yeah, I no more get. Well, I drive a 3/4 ton, so my back tires are higher pressure than the fronts. I get quarter mile, half mile down the road, and alarms going off.
Warning, Will Robinson, warning.
Yeah. And so it's an immediate U-turn. Go back in. Okay. Yeah. Give me the service manager. Come here. This ain't right. Yes, you rotated them, but no, on your paperwork, you did not check the tire pressure after you rotated them.
yeah.
And
I'm not going to say they didn't check it, but they checked it before they rotated them. So yeah, at that time they were right.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
gonna get.
You have a good day at work
Yeah.
there, Twitch guy.
Yep, I'll catch y'all later.
Bye, Twitch
Yeah.
guy.
I'm headed out too. I just wanted to come down and say hi and good night.
All right. Let's see.
Bye, Puds. Good night, hun.
You have a good one, Pudge.
Good night, all.
I am trying to fast time it a little bit, so it's like day.
User disconnected from your channel.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I made it a little while. I was like, man, it's just getting worse and worse, and
Yeah. Well, for a while there, all I'd seen were my lights, and then when Sarge would come and fill me up, all I seen was his name tag. That was it.
exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing they definitely upgraded over to different versions of this game.
Oh, the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing we were trying to figure out, and I know there's a lot of Stevie maps that are a little bit darker, but I think in general, like the maps are just like night is like considerably darker on 19. 19 as opposed to 17. Because even Ravensport, which we played a bunch, whenever it hit night, it was always just very hard to see.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we're getting it done, so.
Oh yeah. What do we have left here? We have
13 and 14, I think, is all that's left.
Yeah. Oh, I'm probably about a quarter or a third of the way through 14.
Okay, yeah, I'm just starting to do an enroll on 13 now, so.
Yeah.
I figure.
Yeah, we did get kind of a little busy in here last night.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone kept buying fields.
Well, I don't think. What was it? John was saying there was only a couple, maybe a week or so left on this map or something like that.
Yeah, basically, I think 2 weeks. I think there's this week and then next week, and then that's it.
Then it's
done.
Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as I understand, he's wanting to run this map pretty much now just for make a profit.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I mean, we are at 1.8.
Yeah.
Right now, so I don't know.
But we sold absolutely everything, I think.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Last night, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty close to everything.
In the silos, I don't know if we didn't sell any animals or anything like that.
No, I'm sure what's going to probably happen, and don't quote me because this is merely a guess, but last night it's going to be sell all the animals, sell all the land, figure out exactly what our total is again.
Yeah.
So,
and then goof off for
probably some
the rest of the stream.
some shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The map ending shenanigans,
Oh, there were some shenanigans last night.
Oh yeah,
there,
we were having fun.
There always is.
There was trucks mounting other trucks, and you guys were jumping up. They were jumping up into the sail point.
Yeah, yeah. I caught a glimpse of that. I had to go
Sarge was on top of John, and
yeah.
Yeah, they were launching into that sail point up the hill or whatever.
Yeah, and me and Benedict were Days of Thunder, doing from the sail point.
Jesus.
Trying to pit each other. Drove Benedict into the wall a couple times.
It was fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean
Harmless
that's the thing. You got to have fun with this game. I mean, as much as we like to kind of keep things realistic, it's fun when you have those shenanigan moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a good laugh every once in a while. The game kind of just gets mundane.
Well, I mean, I enjoy playing the game regardless, but I mean, if you're...
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking at it from more of a viewer standpoint, If you're sitting there watching the whole time, oh, look, they're harvesting it. Oh, unless you are, really into the game or you're playing the game at the same time, it does kind of get a little monotonous. And by having those little moments in there, it breaks it up.
Yeah, and with Benedict, there's always those moments.
Oh, what did he have? Awesome. 4 different things happen last night. I mean, ran it out of fuel.
He didn't tip over like he usually does. But he got stuck left, right, and center. Ran out of fuel.
When he was hauling grain, he managed to lay the truck with the Wilson trailer on its side.
How?
Twice at least? At least twice.
Yeah.
He must have been stable. Yeah, that's what I mean. I've never tipped that thing over. I think I've tipped the red tipper over once, but it was I think that was when I ran into the boats near the homestead.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I guess the log trailers, are kind of top heavy, but
yeah.
Same person who walked into a door.
Who walked into a door?
Benedict. I walked into the wall.
When did?
When did he do
Oh
that?
God.
Was that last night?
No, it
No,
was a few
he's the-
nights. It's about a couple weeks ago. He was streaming or whatever, and went to go do something and come back and walked into the wall.
I mean, don't
I
get me
hate
wrong.
when the
Like,
wall moves.
I can completely see him doing it,
Yep.
but I banged his head into the wall last night too. God.
Did he?
Oh, they're all diming him out now, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and I ain't picking on him. I mean, I actually like him.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, no,
he's a good kid.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's really good. He's been around a long time.
He's actually been
yeah, he
around
has.
longer than I have. I mean, I'm sure he was even back when they
Yeah, I'm
were in
pretty-
the YouTube.
Yeah,
only, but I'm
pretty
not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was back even when Mike was around, I think.
Was he?
I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
At that point, I don't know.
Benedict was the reason why they did it, the age they did it, because he was already in there.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I know
absolutely, yeah,
that,
that's-
but I just don't know exactly when that came to fruition. I thought part of it was Zach as well.
Yeah. Because I think both Benedict and Zach, I think they're the same age, I believe.
I want to say
Zach's
Zach's a
only
little
16.
bit. Yeah, Zach's a little bit
Zach
younger.
just turned
I think.
17 and Benedict's 18.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, Zach's he's around because he family friend. They knew each other, or their John's dad and Zach's dad
Yeah.
knew each other before. And I guess it was a weird situation because they knew each other, and Zach found John's stream one day or found his videos or something. And I guess
Yeah.
Zach was telling his dad about it, and he's like, well, I mean, I know the guy, I know his dad or whatever,
Oh.
so it was...
Game speed. Or time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
yep, thanks.
Yeah.
Now that it's the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go in and repair this thing pretty soon.
Well, I mean, we're just about done, too. So.
I'm at 8 miles an hour.
Well, there is a repair place right over here
yeah,
next to the shed.
pretty much the shop,
Oh,
or,
I see it there.
or over by where we have the overhangs. I
Once
think,
you refill me here, I'll head over there and repair it really quick.
yeah, I
Okay.
think we've got, 4 or
Do
5
that.
different repair places.
I think it's what this thing, you can go, I think 12 or 13.
Yeah. 12, I
Oh.
think.
I'm at 8, fluctuating between 8 and 7 miles an hour.
I'm at about 9 or 10 going uphill.
Well, that's on flat. Even downhill, it's
Ooh.
like that needle for repair is at less than half.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still sitting about 3/4. No, don't forget, guys. Next week, next Thursday, will actually be our monthly giveaways for the month. Typically, it would fall on the last day of the month, but that Sunday is actually my daughter's birthday, so I'm gonna spend some time with her once I get done with work, if I have to work. But we will be doing our giveaways on that Thursday. I believe it's the 28th again, I believe.
Yep.
So make sure you guys are coming back for that. Those of you that are having to kind of leave a little bit early here. It will be for a Steam gift card, so those of you that are not actually have not added me as a friend to your Steam list, to avoid having to wait the 3 days for that, you can always do that. It is just simple. Gamer tag on Steam is _Mister. The picture is the actual rain cloud emote that I have in chat. So other than that, you guys can make sure you tune in for that, and good luck to you all. looking to say something there, Canadian?
No, it's partway through muting my mic, talking to my kid.
Oh, okay. Cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't cutting you off.
They're sitting there with their sticking their hands underneath the door.
Remember when our kids were just little and they would stick their hands underneath the door, like especially the bathroom, like.
Yeah, they did that to you especially constantly. You just see their fingers like poking up.
Yep.
Do you see me? Do you see my
Yeah.
fingers?
Yeah, like their fingers are gonna like help you get done.
Quicker.
You know, doing whatever you're doing faster.
Oh no, they're funny. My little one beats up on the older one all the time.
You know, I kind of think that's, well, I guess it's normally the older beating up the younger one.
You know, our youngest is about the exact same size as our 2-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's just solid.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that at least the older one inherited my smart aleck gene. Because man, and she's,
Oh, yeah.
we found that out like young, like she was 2.
Yeah.
Because we were here, and you know, it was to the point where she was eating regular food, and you know, they do nothing but like play with their food at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But my wife made you know, she was doing something, and she's like, you need to eat that, and you haven't even touched your rice. And you know, you looked over at her, she just had that look. You knew it was coming, but you know, didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Looked straight at us, touched rice, stuck her finger in her rice, and then said, there, I touched it. I mean, I lost it. I had to turn away because I was dying. And my wife, I'm pretty, like, I don't think she kept a straight face, but man, she was trying, and I was not helping at all.
Oh no, it's bad. Like, it's our her thing now is everything is no.
Oh, that stage.
Absolutely everything. Even if she wants it, it's no, and then it's yes.
Yep.
But it always starts off as no.
Yeah, kids are crazy.
Oh yeah.
But it's funny seeing them at that younger age. It's not.
Mm-hmm. She'll go and throw a temper tantrum, and as soon as you leave the room, she's fine. As soon as you come back, it's
Back
full
to it.
blown again.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't think we really had to deal with tantrums a whole lot. I mean, I guess we kind of did a little bit, but we didn't feed into them.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say if they were doing, we
User joined your
nipped
channel.
it in the butt like real quick, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think we had to really worry about it too bad.
The one that, I mean, Natalie, she couldn't really talk, so her throwing a fit, it didn't really happen. She was very sensitive, so she wore her feelings on her sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Still
So if
does.
something happened to her where you told her no, it was all out, full out war.
Yeah, it felt like
And it was
you'd-
crying, but she wouldn't normally get in trouble to where you'd have to tell her no.
Yeah.
Well, and with her, a lot of times we noticed it more when she was like tired.
Mm-hmm.
But like even with Abby, I don't think we really had to deal with tantrums.
Abby didn't start getting. She was sneaky. She's always been sneaky. She didn't start getting sneaky until she got to be 4 or 5. That's when she would start getting into stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Starting now is the getting into things. It's brutal. I'd like thought we child-proofed everything. Nope.
There's no such thing.
There isn't. You can go spend $100 on all those little fancy clips and suction cups and doorknob things. I'd give a 2-year-old half an hour with them, and then he figured it out.
Well, I think the only thing we ever like child-proofed was like the cabinets. We kind of did that, and it was more because of we don't want the door coming down and smashing on their fingers or getting into the stuff under the sink.
Yeah.
And then I think we also did like the outlet covers where you know, so they don't stick something in there. But as far as like, oh hey, there's a coffee table, let's put bumpers around it, that type of stuff.
No, we never
did
that. No.
What was I going to say? Abby was always, you couldn't put stuff away. You try to put it away and she'd still find a way to get to it. Like you couldn't put stuff on top of the fridge because she was just, oh, well, I just need to climb here, here, and here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's our kids. We found them on the counter. They're only 1 and 2.
Well, the other thing is Abby was so stubborn. I mean, you know, like a typical kid, if there's there's a table, right? And they're trying to get around the table. You go one way. If there's something in the way, most kids would just stop, turn around, and go around the other way.
Yeah.
She would force her way past whatever it was that was in her way just to get to where she wanted to go the way she wanted to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she hasn't really stopped that either, so.
Our 1-year-old's like that. But it's not just like pushing it. She'll like pick it up and throw it.
Yeah.
We're trying to potty train them. She's taking her little potty and she's throwing it clear across the living room.
Oh, jeez.
Like, holy. No, and then when she gets upset, like her sister takes a toy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There she is. She's dragging her sister by the arm across the floor.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the 1-year-old dragging the 2-year-old.
Oh my.
Come out and it's like 2-year-old screaming murder.
Just set up the ring and the bouncing ropes and just let them go.
Oh, I know. It's brutal. I was like, why? And it just, she never just lets her sister do that too.
Oh, that'll change.
And she just like, well, she just feels, as soon as she starts doing that, she's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So.
And Dean, welcome in. How are you doing tonight? No, our younger one was kind of like that. Not that she would beat up on the older, but like we constantly were kind of dealing with the older one, kind of not like outright bullying, but like she was doing things that we kept telling her she's, you know, it's gonna come a day where she's gonna be fed up with what you're doing, and she's just gonna let you have it, and we hit that day where now it's kind of like there's a lot of times where they just can't be even near each other because they're at each other's throats constantly.
Yeah.
And we had to have an actual talk with the older one a couple years ago, because she was like, I don't understand why she's acting the way she is. She used to I think she put it in the way of saying she's not the same person that she was. And it's like, well, I mean, you got older, she got older, and she finally had enough and was always doing what you wanted to do or whatever. And now that you're getting pushback, you don't like that.
Yep.
So I think there's always that line, and when they hit that line, it's kind of like a wake up call for them.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Well, that's like my nephew and then my oldest daughter. My nephew is 4 this year, I think it is.
Okay.
And he would always do that. He would always pick on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally got to the point where she finally found out that, well, no, I could fight back.
Right.
He was just laying it to him. And he finally got to the point where he didn't want to kind of play with her for a while, and then now it's back to normal.
Right.
But it was, she got to that point where she was just fed up with it and just laid a beating.
I mean, it's kind of good for him to do that too, because I know with girls at least, it's always kind of that, oh, you're not supposed to fight back, or you're supposed to be this real prim proper person. It's like, no. If someone's doing that, you can handle it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, don't like be unjust about it, but like if they're picking on you, they're gonna keep picking on you if you're, you know, if you just let it happen.
Yeah.
Make them think twice about it. And what's up, Crazy Trucker? How are you doing tonight? I should actually say, where are you tonight? I think the last time I talked to you, you were up in, like, Pennsylvania area, I think?
The youngest one just came out here and says, guess what? I forgot to take my medicine. Too late now.
Well, has she really been coughing still?
A little bit today.
But, I mean, compared to...
It's still been... She was sneezing a lot earlier.
Wonder if she's just got some allergy stuff going on, because it's around that time that pollen's going to start being in the air and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to make sure that I got some allergy stuff at the house here, because I don't get allergies real bad, but I know there's like a certain type of pollen or something that affects me.
Yeah.
And it's like bad, like to the point where I wake up and throat is just constantly dry. And
He's in North Carolina, mister.
Gotcha, North Carolina. But I would always end up going to the doctors, and they're like, yeah, it's sinus drainage. And that's the only thing. I don't get the whole sneezing or the sinus pressure or anything most of the time. It's normally just like the constant sore throat. So I got to deal with that maybe a week or two at a time. Once in the summer, once in the fall, and that's really all I have ever had to deal with.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty lucky with the minor allergies that I get.
I don't have allergies, but I got asthma. It's weird. It's not that it's like I overexert myself. It's when I go from, like, if it's really cold outside,
Okay.
I walk outside, that's what triggers it.
So yours is, it sounds like yours is more like what do they call that? Because I mean, it's like when it's colder, it's almost like the air is thinner. That's kind of what it sounds.
Yeah. Well, it's like once I'm outside for a bit in the cold, it's fine. It's just going from that hot to the cold.
Okay.
Yeah, that cold actually helps your lungs.
Yeah, but it's, for some reason, it just sends my body into a panic, and then...
Yeah. Well, it probably restricts them is what it is, you know?
Yeah,
Going from expanding, and then everything kind of restricts a little bit. Resman, our kids, the oldest one is about to turn 12 at the end of the month, and then the younger one is 9. we've been avoiding the whole phone thing with the oldest one, but we're approaching that point.
Get her an old Nokia flip phone.
Well, no, what we actually, and what I had thought of doing is everything now is like the, you know, the smartphones or whatever, but I'm not going to like outright go and buy her a smartphone because I don't know. She really doesn't take care of her stuff that good to the point where like she's keeping track of them. Like you can ask her where she put something earlier that day and she has no idea where it is.
Yeah.
Every morning she's got to like search for her jacket when we tell her, hang it up when you come in the door, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't want
User
to.
joined your channel.
I don't want to outright buy her a new phone and have her lose it. So
Yeah.
my thought was, we just recently upgraded our phones to like newer phones.
Yeah.
I had to get a new one because my charging port on it was damaged. It wouldn't charge anymore, and it was actually cheaper to just buy a new phone than it was to get that port replaced.
Yeah.
Heather's old one still works. It doesn't work the best, but at least the battery and everything we charge. So I was thinking possibly, you know, just using that at least at first to see, are you taking care of it? Are you keeping track of it? Are you keeping it charged? That type of thing. And then after a little bit of time, if she's showing us that she's taking care of it, that's when we would go and get her a newer one that's just hers.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't go through any of the actual like carriers. We just go through. Right now, we just go through like Walmart, the Straight Talk. It's cheaper, but I think if we add another line, it's almost cheaper just to go through a regular carrier.
I don't know how I know with down here it's cheaper for us to outright buy the phones from the manufacturer and then get a different plan.
Okay, yeah, I mean, in the long run, it ultimately is, yeah.
Because in the end, you're paying interest on that phone.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, they have these the Kudo and stuff like that. They have tabs and stuff like that where it's they cover up to I think $500 of the phone bill, like what the phone cost is, but you're paying like $35 a month for like 2 years or 3 years.
And Dean, not 50.
Yeah.
She's turning 12.
Yeah, even if she just has something like before you give her an outright phone, something that's just on Wi-Fi at the house for now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
No, Carson.
Oh yeah, no, he's probably not. He's actually been like on the days that he's not here, he's been trying to keep out of TeamSpeak a little bit more. But I think he was probably doing a lot of stuff at the farm this weekend. They got all that flood preparedness stuff that they're trying to do just in case. So he's probably I'd be surprised if he's even in here at all tonight.
Not so much 25, more like 16.
Yeah. I don't even think 16 is not even the right age. She is that 18-year-old that just hasn't gotten a clue yet. That's kind of.
See, our rule was for our phones, if you couldn't pay for it, like if you couldn't have some way to cover the bill and pay for your own phone, you couldn't have it.
I mean,
even if my parents they would cover the phone, but even if I didn't have a job that would cover it, they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, see, I never this is kind of the element that we're not really sure of because I'm of that era that I literally did not get my first cell phone until I was 19.
Yeah.
But when I did, It was my own phone. It was my own plan. I paid for it, you know. And
Yeah.
we've ran into even. Let's see, we've been here. God, 10 years already. But when we were in Florida, there was like 7-year-olds, right?
Holy.
That were walking through the base that I was stationed at, through like the neighborhoods, with their own smartphones. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I never understood it. So,
No.
but I know with our daughter, she, like, all her friends do have them. So it's that balancing act of, well, when's the right time where she's not feeling left out from her friends, but she's still mature enough to take care of it.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we're thinking about going the way we are, just using the existing one, because if it gets lost, it gets lost, you know.
Yeah.
It won't be a
End of the world kind of situation.
yeah, and I mean, it doesn't take anything to call them up and just cancel it, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a under contract, we're still paying for the phone type of deal.
Yeah, you better get back to bed there, Carson. You're not supposed to be up.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, she's getting better with responsibility. She's getting there.
Yeah.
It's these are tough ages coming up, 11, 12, 13. And so it's just the balancing act between responsibility and wanting to have freedom. But yeah, all of her friends all have phones. She's about the only one that doesn't. And it's like, yeah, it's tough. I didn't get my first phone until I got married, and the mister was like, oh yeah, here.
Yeah.
Well, I know she was wanting it over a year ago, and we kind of made her a promise. That's like, okay, you know, you're too young for it now, but when you're 12, well, you know, that was kind of the line that we had decided. You know, if she showed she was responsible and she was doing her chores and showing us that she was responsible enough, we would get her a phone when she was 12. Well, now that's approach, and then we're like, oh, we didn't say we would get it for your birthday. We said when you were 12, so sometime within the year. So it's like...
Yeah. No, I know mine, it was, I got it because I needed it for work. I think it was 14 when I got it. So...
And it would be nice for her friends to have it, so I don't have to find friends' parents on Facebook and figure out what's going on with what.
Yeah.
And have her friends text me and say, hey, can you tell Abby that? No, I'm not telling Abby anything.
Yeah, but see, that's part of what's got me so paranoid about the phone on the opposite side of it, you know? Because we had issues with some of the kids in the neighborhood that were texting Heather's phone, and they were kind of bullying Abby. I don't want her like giving that phone out to that number out to everyone.
And then all of a sudden now that's happening.
Yes. And we've kind of talked with her a bunch since all that has happened, so I think she kind of understands how easy that is to happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, and we're gonna be on top of whoever has her phone and getting text messages. Like, it's gonna be a thing that's gonna be checked daily. Like,
yeah, because there's
to make sure.
I'm pretty sure with whoever you have, like a service provider or something like that, you can go on the account or whatever, and I'm pretty sure it shows you the list of the text messages and stuff if you put certain restrictions on the phone.
Yeah, see, I don't know with like I said, ours isn't like through an actual provider. It kind of is. But like every phone has got a separate bill. But that being said, I'm sure there's still like a parental type of access that we can say, hey, this is like our daughter, so we want to be able to, you know, we're going to have access to it, whether, you know, the password or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm going to pretty much give her my old one. We'll get her new number. and literally I'm gonna delete everything out of it. I don't think.
No,
I don't know if there's.
I would honestly say for that phone, we could do it really any time. Go through and charge it up, and then do a complete factory reset on it.
Yeah.
And then let it do whatever updates it needs to. Because the issues you were having with it as well, Heather, might even fix those issues as well. So.
And also be sure to go through and security settings and all of that.
Yep.
Because you are dealing with a minor, and there's just weird people out there. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Sure are.
Should we plow field 9? That's the only field that needs plowing.
Yeah, I think 9's the only one showing plowing. So.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're already at that age where we already had to have that talk with the kids, because the youngest accidentally put a video on YouTube because she saw somebody else do it, and it was just her talking. Like she likes to pretend she's a YouTuber and wants to do these videos and stuff. Well, somebody made a comment on it, and I saw it right away and deleted the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's sad that
they wanted
stuff
to,
like that.
They wanted to see more stuff, and I'm like, God, nope, you're done.
No. No, it's sad that you gotta watch it that closely, because there's just those people out there that are like that.
Right. And what's worse is you don't even know where the person that made that comment is. They could be literally right next door, or they could be in another state.
Yeah.
If it's a smartphone, there's an app that can be on the phone. Yeah. I know there are those apps. I just don't know what they are. So, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult to figure it out, but because I know there's other ones where you can literally put it on that phone, and then you have that same one on your phone, and you can basically go into it and access everything that's been going on their phone. But but I honestly, I don't really know if I want to go that far unless we need to.
Unless something starts coming out.
Yeah,
kind of thing, yeah.
Like I think just us saying, periodically going, hey, let me see your phone, and then us just looking through it is better than, hey, we're putting this app on your phone so we can see what's going on your phone at any time.
Yeah.
There's got to be a little bit of a trust thing going on. And then if it gets to the point where we're finding things, that's when, we take other steps.
Yeah. Where are the plows parked?
The plows, I want to say, are actually up by...
Actually, they're on the big... No, those are the cedars now.
They should be... Yeah, I think they're up there by, where the cedars and stuff are. Yeah, Culty Plow up there by 1114.
Yeah. See the big ones, I can't...
Hey, mister, can we do the whole full house thing with her whenever we do get a new number for her and get it charged and everything?
I mean, you could, but you would have to not give it to her on her birthday, which is when she's expecting it.
What do you mean not give it to her on her birthday?
In order for you to basically call her on a separate line, which is what the full house thing was,
Yeah.
she has to have the phone.
Yeah.
She's
I'm gonna like literally get it all charged up. We can go Friday, get a number for it, all that other kind of stuff, have it ready, and pretty much the only thing I'm gonna do is like just have it like, you know, wrapped up or something, and literally just have, you know, like my mom call it or whatever, and you know, at a certain time, you know.
Well, that yeah.
Be
I
like,
mean,
it's not mine. Sure, ain't mine. Better open it up and figure out what it is.
I mean that's kind of what I was thinking, but that's not really the full house thing, because I mean, the full house thing was a phone that she had in her room already. It was just on the same line as the rest of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, the only people that are going to have that number is going to be us, probably my mom and his mom, and maybe a few friends at school, and that's it.
Yeah. Now here's the other thing that is kind of coming into light is,
We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna be.
I don't know if you guys get them, but we get those super awesome robocalls on cell phones now. So now she's going to be getting those same phone calls because apparently it doesn't matter if it's a cell phone or not. They like to call them. And thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated.
I mean, that's when we tell her, just if it's a number you don't know, or that doesn't pop up with a name next to it, like mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever, she doesn't answer it.
That's true.
And once again, I think there is a way
nice,
to,
Redbone.
with it being a minor, there's a way to prevent, except for certain phone calls coming in, because I know you can set them.
Okay.
I want to say there is, because I want to say, like, during the daytime, you can set it up to where, like, they're going to be at school. They cannot be sending messages or making phone calls except to certain designated numbers.
Oh,
obviously, an emergency number, you or Heather, or, you know, something like that. So,
is that done through the provider or the phone?
I wish I could tell you.
Okay. I'm not even sure how to say this name, but I'm just going to call you Wild. Wild, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. It is awesome. Thank you very much. Let's go get those storm clouds rolling in chat. If you do not have the storm clouds, you can always type #hype in the chat, and the bot will post them for you.
Freaking out, I had texture lag here. I thought this thing was on creating new field.
Yeah, I'm getting a plow now, and then we'll get that field knocked out quick. Hopefully.
Yeah. Shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Plows go really fast.
Oh, is it Will? Okay. Thank you for that correction.
Do not disturb feature, yeah. That you can do too, and then I have on my phone actually the do not disturb, so like between whatever and whatever, nothing gets to my phone.
You guys already have both of those plows out? Or would
I
we
have
only have
one.
one? Well, I wonder
Those quality plows, there should be 3. That green one, the small green one in the back,
Bunk with you, buddy.
be on the
Oh,
far
okay.
right of that shed. I think
Yeah.
they just changed the color of of 2 of them.
Well, see, when I was looking at it, it looked like a cedar.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the 2 big, like the big plows, and there's the blue ones, and then there's that tiny little one. Those ones actually do. These small ones are actually faster than those bigger ones. But I'm pretty sure these are the ones that Stevie's modded.
Yeah. And thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated. Welcome on in.
Crazy, you'll have to, Crazy Trucker, you'll have to send me a whisper because you can't post links, so.
I'm gonna bunk with you, buddy. We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna be pals. Here's you. Here's Matt. There's you. There.
And again, thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated. Welcome on in. I do hope you enjoy your stay.
Sorry if you guys, every once in a while, hear me yelling at the kids. They refuse to go to bed.
It's not that bad. Which way is better on this field? Is it?
I have no
now?
idea. This is the first time I've plowed it, so it's.
I mean,
just-
it kind of looks like maybe a north or a northeast kind of.
I was just gonna do a start getting some straight lines going. I just needed to get some end.
Yeah, and I'm following you around, so.
Yeah. Because on the other side, you're like right up against the train tracks. I don't know which way is longer on this field.
And Trucker, that video looks like, or that link looks like it'll be good for once we do get her phone if we have issues with what she's doing and stuff like that. Like, but I don't know how much it costs because it's just try it risk free. So.
Oh Lord, we're gonna knock this field out quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice the tires on this one. Unless
Yeah.
they're not supposed to, but they don't move.
No, they don't. I think that's because it's sitting on the. Because they're lowered, it's probably because it's sitting on the discs and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just didn't know if it was
Maybe.
supposed to be moving. It just looks odd that they're not.
This field is probably just quicker just to keep going around the outside.
Yeah, I don't think that like the turns are actually not that drastic where it's
Yeah, where it's really
an
hard.
issue. Yeah.
Holy crap! That's $11 a month. That's $130 for 12 months.
What's that?
That thing that Twitch or that Crazy Trucker sent me is called Web Watcher.
Oh, yeah, it's like a monitoring service type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good for iPhone 8 and up. None of us have an iPhone 8.
Yeah, you got the newer phone, and I think yours is like a 6, isn't it?
Yeah, mine's a 6S Plus. That was still enough money as it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never like buying new phones when they just come out because they have nothing but problems with them.
Yeah. Well, we used to go through Verizon. Before that was AT&T, but all our phones, we always got them when they gave us like the free upgrade thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I was the same way. I never wanted to outright buy a phone because they were always hundreds of dollars, and all
Yeah.
it takes is something to happen once, and that thing is
Done.
dead. yet you're still
Yeah.
under contract for that entire time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for the longest time where I worked, I wasn't actually allowed to have a phone that had a camera and everything out there. So I actually, what I did is I bought one of those little the prepay phones, the little
Yeah.
Go phones. I had to buy one of those, and that's what I had for the longest time. I mean, I still used it like under contract because it was
Yeah.
cheaper, but it was just a little cheap little phone. So if it got busted, I could easily replace it and still have a phone.
Yeah.
And you love the Fenton Forest or any Stevie map? Yeah, we're definitely a big fan of the Stevie maps. The only, I think the only thing that this map is really missing is the whole the fermentation silo, so you can actually store the TMR and all that stuff. But
Only costs $800, crazy trucker. You can, yeah.
he can buy it for us, and then we'll use it.
That's not happening. I won't even spend $800 on my own phone, so.
Well, I went and bought the Huawei P20 Pro. Paid $400, I think, for it. So I had to buy it from, like, straight from the factory, and it got shipped to my door.
Yeah, crazy. When you're making that truck driver money, though, that type of phone, I can see spending the money on it. But yeah, when you're single income with 2 kids, that's not really a need. That's that's
Yeah.
like bottom of the list.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure some of his livelihood kind of depends on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I would say, different directions and GPS and
Be like my
videos and
brother.
everything else.
He's got 4 phones. Got his personal phone, and then he's got 3 different work phones. God, he's a heavy duty mechanic. He's got one for when he's in town, one for when he's out of town but he's still in southern BC here, and then he's got one for northern BC. But his company pays for 3 of those phones.
Did he really say why he's got that many?
It's because the service plans that they got, because they have so many people working for their company. They buy these phones in bulk and they just go to the service providers in those areas.
Okay.
So
rather than just having like a
one phone
international type plan, they have one phone for specific areas.
Yeah, it ends up working out being way cheaper to have a phone for each area. So
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It's just
and
it's weird having that many phones.
Oh yeah, and because he's a mechanic and he's got a service rig. He's all over the place. He'll be northern BC one day. He'll have to be back in town for 2 days, and then he'll be back somewhere else. Because the company that he works for does road work. They do gravel crushing. They lease equipment out to mine sites and stuff like that. So he's all over the place.
Oh, awesome.
This circle's getting a lot smaller now.
Yeah, it is.
Starting to
It's
tighten
almost
up a little bit.
yeah, it's almost triangular now.
Mm-hmm. Almost have to start going end to end almost. Corners are starting to get pretty.
You gotta love it. Plowing at 17 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
No chance of breaking anything at all.
No, not at all.
And Will, yes, I am actually getting a 1660. The card, I guess, is just being shipped today, so hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have it and it'll be in, and we'll put her to the test, see what it can do. But I was able to get that. We had a lot of support in the community the past couple months that have allowed me to purchase that. I did purchase it before I actually get the money from Twitch, but I wanted to get it when it was at this lower price like it was, because I mean it's just recently come out, right? Within like the past couple months or something. I didn't know if the price would shoot up but it's supposed to be significantly better than what I have. I'm currently running a 960, so it's a pretty decent upgrade for what I'm running. Yeah, no, I'll definitely let you guys know how it is. We're supposed to ship out today, so I figure it'd be real close. I may have it by Thursday, but it may not end up being until like next Sunday, the first stream that it's running. I don't know. It all depends on when it gets in. Because I know on Wednesday I'm supposed to be playing Flashing Lights with John, so depending on when I get off of work and when I get in, it's just a whole thing. So no, I can hear you guys like burning up behind me now.
Sorry, I forgot I muted. You guys realized he was joking with that trucking money comment, right?
What about the raise since the 90s, or
No,
are you talking about mine?
You told Trucker, yeah, you should buy it for with all that trucking money.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like
completely
you guys, he was
joking.
with
Yeah.
that. I hope you
No.
just realized that.
No, I know. I was completely joking. Remember, I've pretty much all the fields that I've worked in, like where I currently work.
Okay,
The
good.
last couple of years.
I was just making sure, Redbone, like.
Yeah, no, I've worked in jobs where we get a pay raise, but it is literally the same percentage that interest goes up every year. So I get it.
Oh, cost of living increase.
Yeah, the whole 3.2%.
Oh, you're lucky. We don't even get that.
Well, I mean, I just get it because of where I work and where I have worked, but that's not a normal thing.
Yeah, the lovely military.
Yeah.
I see. Up here we had a bill passed that was supposed to bring our minimum wage up to $13 an hour. That was passed 5 years ago, and it was supposed to be a 3-year thing. Well, after they did the first 2 increases, I think they bumped it from $11 to $12.25 or $12 now. I think it is. They gave up. They canceled the bill. They said no, we're not going to do it now.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
So.
Well, I used to laugh when I was in the military. They'd give you that little bump every year to cover inflation. But then there was all this stuff going on about how people were wanting to, oh, you're a government worker, so we should be able to tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah.
Or, I was like, really?
Or how people think because you're in the military, you're making so much money. It's like, do you
Yeah.
realize
No.
how much we're really
Well-
not making?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it really depends on what you're doing too, because technically, for a lot of us, we were on call 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So our pay, even though we supposedly only worked about 8-9 hours a day, if you factor in that being on call, you're on 24/7. So our pay was really only if you want to break it down into hourly, we were getting paid all of like $3 to $4 an hour
Mm-hmm.
because we were on call all the time. But I don't know. I think the awareness has gotten a little bit better.
Well, what was nice is they finally took a while, but they finally got a lot of the base pays, especially for the lower enlisted,
Mm-hmm.
up above to where if you married and had
User
a family,
joined your channel.
you didn't have to be on food stamps.
Right.
Oh yeah, we had WIC and everything else because there's no other way we could do it. Like, we couldn't afford formula and that kind of stuff if we weren't on WIC.
Yeah. And I no. There's no way somebody in the military should have to be on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know of very many, like, say, lower enlisted that would have 12 kids or something crazy like that, but
Oh, I'm sure there's some.
I'm sure there was somewhere,
But yeah, that wasn't typical. Like, I think of
No.
out of most of the families that we did run into, 2, 3 was typical. Because yeah, you can't anything above that, and you're like, you didn't make enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's why his stepmom was always like, wait until he's at least staff before you start having kids because,
Oh God.
his, dad was in the military and saw, the struggles people did have when they did have kids. Or they
Right.
had,
Well,
more
not to
than one
mention-
kid.
Not to mention he lived through it. I mean,
Yeah.
he was in the military, but I was born when he was 18. So almost his entire career was with having a kid,
Yeah.
Well, I actually think this is a good place for us to stop.
Yeah.
Just leave going through
Just-
herbicide and seeding and then
Yeah.
fertilizing. So
Yeah, 'cause it's way too much to even start
Yeah.
here for another hour or two.
oh no, we'd easily be here for another 2. So I mean, we did get a big chunk of it knocked out, so that'll make.
We got all
John's-
the small, monotonous stuff done.
Yeah, I think the big thing was the liming. Like, the liming is what's going to take the
Yeah.
longest. Well, maybe the planting, but
Yeah.
planting canola.
depending
so
on what they plant, it could take a minute, but
well, they were initially talking about planting canola yesterday, so that
Yeah.
with those bigger seeders would actually breed pretty quick. So
yes.
And what do they have there? I think they have like 2 or 3 of those seeders, don't they?
Got 2 of them.
2.
And then the other day, John was leasing out stuff that he
Oops.
needed extra of.
Oh, don't
So-
sell the vehicle.
No, I didn't sell the vehicle. I sold the
Sold the
weight.
Gosh.
I mean, we're selling everything anyways, right?
Well, Crazy Trucker, it depended on, there were still some things we did have to pay for, yes.
Okay, we didn't have to pay for medical bills, right? But the pay Here's like the timeout factor, okay? When I was in military, yes, we got medical stuff. We didn't have to pay for it, but we still had to go in for it. Once you get out, the pay equivalent, like it took me, I think, 5 years to get at the same level, but when you factor in the food and the medical and all that stuff that you didn't have to before, it gets real weird. Because we're going to like a base facility where we're able to get that stuff cheaper than having to go off a base.
I had I mean, yeah, you could get your medicines paid for. I still had to pay for mine because mine weren't like the regular stuff that they had there at the pharmacy. So I had to go off base to go pay for my medicine.
Yeah.
And like if
and
you went,
then you have to deal with the copay.
Yep. And then copays and stuff like that you still had to pay for. Like, so just because it was free, and it's not so much that it was free because we were still paying for stuff, just, you know. It's not like the pay that we got, like, if you gave somebody a pay, like that pay on the outside, like, they couldn't survive off of it because of having to pay everything else with it.
Yeah, and we're not by any means saying that, you know, everyone in the military's got, like, real hard, or that, you know, it's just, it's completely different because you don't get the money that you would have to get for medical, or you have to follow specific things, you know, like for me, I had to go to military everything.
Yep.
Medical, dental, like the
whether you wanted
optometrist.
to go see them or not.
Yeah.
And whether they were qualified or not.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, some of those base doctors were not the brightest at all. They probably failed medical school. I was like, well, I failed medical school. Let me go into the military because, you know.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but it's just, it's the experience, and it's different mindset, you know?
Yeah. Now, I was stationed with one medical unit, and it was a field unit, so I actually deployed with them once. Now, I can say this much. Combat zone, it ain't going to be pretty, but they patch you up, put your back together, all that. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be ugly. You're going to have scars from one end of you to the other, but if you're savable, they could do it.
Yep.
Oh, can't find a park.
No, I had one kid at base doctor, and one kid in a you know, I shouldn't say base doctor. The hospital was on base, so all my doctors and nurses were pretty much military. I mean, the doctors were military, stuff like that. So yes, I did. Military doctor did deliver my first daughter.
Right.
Second. Sorry, dealing with a kid that doesn't want to go to bed.
You're good.
Because Dad has her fan and she's sweaty hot, she says. But the second daughter, the youngest, was born off base at a normal hospital. The difference was completely different. I had a midwife. I could see a midwife, like I had a midwife. They were so much nicer. She, you know, paid more attention. It wasn't, you know, like it was night and day difference.
Right.
It's just a difference in the quality of the care,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, right, and because you get on the outside, there is also that thing of, okay, if we don't take care of patients, or in their case, the customers, they're not going to have a job.
Or that patient is not going to come back to this hospital.
Right, exactly.
Whereas on base, there's always going to be people keep coming in and seeing them because, you know,
Because you
there's
have
nowhere else to go because you have to.
to.
Right.
Oh, let's see. Oh,
And it's kind of one of those that's kind of hard to kind of get around of because of what the military's main job is.
right.
We can't go to, say, doing away with military medical system because what are you going to do in combat zones?
Right. You got to have those they're trained that know
Right.
the stuff. So that's it's a whole
And being from a technical field, and I'm sure the medical field's the same way, if they're not in that environment, they have to be in something of a facility to practice that skill set because it's perishable.
Exactly. If you're not doing the skill, you lose it.
Yeah. Hey, this guy might have been the best surgeon in the world, but if he hasn't operated on somebody in the last 5 years, I really don't want him touching me as being the first person.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if the saying, you know, it's like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it. I don't think that you want to figure out if that thing's true or not.
It's not even so much that. It's like you still know how to do it, but it's.
Oh, yeah.
It's.
You're just rusty.
Yes. And I've seen some people get on a bike after not riding it for a while. You got the whole weeble wobbles and the balancing. I don't want someone that's operating on me doing that.
Yeah, and it is one of those. That system, is it perfect? By no means. But does it do what it needs to do? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm stuck inside. I fell through the roof of the
Yeah,
building you're on.
you have to tab to a vehicle. Yeah, I did that over in this first all. I think back before the actual like public release of this map in the version 2, it did it too. So it felt like you were in jail.
Yeah.
All right, guys, but this is probably where I'm going to have to call it. So those of you that aren't in TeamSpeak, now is your time to say your piece.
See you later.
All right.
Sound muted.
All right, those of you that are watching on YouTube, I do appreciate you guys being here. And until next time, y'all stay safe.